Hi, this is Clouds Diamond Sharpening, just to show you a video on why not to dip your clipper blades while your clipper is running. So there becomes some problems, and I'm going to show you why on the table. So let's go to the table. Alright, this is my test clipper. So, hear it burning in there? That's not good. That's usually from having a blade on here and dipping it in blade wash. I don't want to do that. If you need to do that, at least just dip the teeth in. Just these front teeth here. About up to there. You just want to clean the residue off it and sterilize it. But it's better to, if you could take your blade off and then just move it in there, and then take it, put it back on, and don't tip the clipper back because it leaks down in there. So this is spinning really fast, and it creates like a vacuum, and when it gets in there and then it comes down here, it gets into the motor and it starts burning. And what happens is it shorts the commutator posts together. The commutator posts are what the brushes move the motor with. And if that's shorted together, it's going to either catch on fire or it's going to blow this fuse back here. Most of the time, even on barber clippers, it'll blow the fuse in the clipper. And then you need a PC board and you need a motor because it shorted all the contacts together, so it doesn't spin correctly and catches on fire. Be careful when you're cleaning your clippers, especially if you're going to dip it in there. Don't ever bring it back like this. Dip it in there and then blow it off, or wipe it off if you have to, if you don't have any air. If you ever hear your clippers make like a burning sound like that, stop immediately. Even if I keep going with this clipper, it will blow this fuse, and then you'll buy a PC board and an armature, and sometimes it won't be worth it depending on what clipper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this apart and clean the liquid off it back together, and it should run good. If it doesn't, I didn't do something right. But before we take this apart, you can also take your blades and slide them halfway down this guide and use a brush and brush the hair off, and then just clean it with paper towel or anything. You should never let your blade get that dirty anyway, where it has skin residue on it, because by then you already done damage to the clipper. These need to move freely or it causes damage to the clipper. Putting clipper blade oil on your blade like this, put a little there and a little there. For barber clippers, you take this and you put it along there and in the back runner. You want these clippers to run freely. And also with oil on the blade will not get nasty because the oil prevents it from the corrosion going into the blade and creating skin residue or hair product residue that will dull the blade and hurt the clipper. You always want these to move freely because then your clipper will last longer. And you need to have preventative maintenance done to these clippers, whether you do it or I do it. I can do it for you, and what it does is it keeps the carbon out of here, because carbon is like a blanket of heat. It's very energy conductive, so it has high density, and it causes a blanket over the motor, and then it causes the metal to heat up, and when metal heats up, it warps. And when it warps, then it causes vibration and causes even more heat. So once that has happened, you will need a new motor to fix the problem. So don't overheat your clippers. It's very important. It's very important to keep your blade clean, but if you oil it before and after you use it, it will never rust, and it will stay sharper longer than it ever has. Let's get down here and get to work. So if you can notice that, it's starting to turn brown. It's about to blow the fuse, so once that fuse blows, you'll need a new switch. So if I clean this, it's going to prevent this fuse from blowing, and it saves me a motor and a switch. And it's way cheaper to get that done than buying a new motor and a switch, trust me. So if you notice, there's a lot of carbon in there and it is wet inside. See all that carbon? Pop this out. Look at all the carbon dust in there. That causes heat and it's really wet in there. And if you notice, the commutator of the motor is getting black goop, and that's carbon. So what it's doing is it's making a short across each of these poles, and then it can't spin. And if it doesn't spin, it won't cut. So we have to clean that off, dry it out, and then clean this out, and then this clipper will run like a champion. So this is the motor, nice and clean, no carbon on it, no liquid. It goes in here like this. Then the power goes around here to move it. So everything's nice and clean. We're gonna put it back together and see if this bad boy works. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace these brushes because they look a little small. This is where the power travels to the motor to make it spin. So you need these in your clipper. If they wear out, then it starts rubbing on the spring and it will destroy your clipper. So don't do that. So this is the motor completely assembled and put back together. Brushes are in there, and this thing's gonna run like no other. Alright, so this is the clipper put back together. So this clipper was made in 2002, and you can see on the code date. So it's over 21 years old, still running. Just maintenance it. I replaced this blade drive and hinge usually. I replaced the brushes this time, they were looking a little small. But yeah, this thing runs good enough for me to test blades all day, and nice and strong, nothing's broken. Thank you for this wonderful adventure. Keep your blades oiled and clean so you can get the most sharpening life out of them, the most sharpens out of them, because I have to remove less, and you have happy customers and happy dogs. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for this wonderful adventure. Bye.